woke up today and saw that the trading had been shut down, and I sent out texts to like 5 people that I know in the investment world just to try to understand what are the people who do this professionally who are smarter than me think is going on. I don't want to get my information just from mainstream media that doesn't understand what's happening. And every single one said this is super fucked up and probably something illegal is happening.
Yeah.
And that's from people who have been in the industry for 10
the SEC
plus years.
is investigating Wall Street bets right now.
Yeah.
Like, I hope they decide to look at Citadel.
You know what this reminds me of, though? It reminds me of Scientology. So I don't know a lot about Scientology. I've never been a Scientologist. This is just from a movie, right?
Going
clear. Maybe that movie is completely a hoax. I say all this so that the Scientologists don't burn my house down. But according to Going Clear, there was going to be a massive financial penalty if Scientology was viewed not as a church, but as a regular organization that had to pay taxes.
They were going to get taxed. Yeah.
Yes. And so they were in a battle with the IRS. And they said, you know what? Here's how much we're going to have to pay taxes if we lose this. Guess what our budget is to not pay taxes?
Yeah.
All of this. So we will send private investigators to go through your garbage. We will do everything legal to harass you. We will spend money on the best lawyers in the world so that you have to keep flying from your home across the country. Just make it such a hassle and burn through 5% of that.
Whatever our tax burden is and how much money we can spend.
They became a church because they said, dude, do you want, how about this? Someone's just going to follow your kids around with a camera. Totally legal. You want that? Guess how long it's going to last? Till we're not till we're a church. And I think what happened is Citadel went, if we lose, this is by the way, I think, I'm not saying, if we lose this bet, we will lose $15 billion, let's say.
We've got $15 billion to invest in not losing this bet. Yeah.
If I lose a lawsuit for $5 billion, that's a $10 billion win. Yeah. If I convince Robinhood to do this, and then we go down in 6 months when this is not news and no one cares, and pay the biggest settlement a hedge fund's ever paid, and we class action to all GME shareholders, $5 billion. That was so much better than letting the stock go to 1,000.
If I tell Robinhood that I will buy their whatever, say it's valued at $2 billion. I'll buy it for $10 billion in 6 months. Then I sign a secret contract, and the owners and all the employees make out like bandits. That's there's 100 ways. I'm just saying there's 100 ways that you can spend money and make problems like this go away. Because
here's what I would guess happened. Hey, Robinhood, if we go bankrupt, you're going to lose half your revenue because we won't exist and we're half your revenue. So just do with that what you will. And the Robinhood went, oh shit. And then they went and did whatever else. And I think the math is Robinhood has to do it to keep the revenue. Citadel's willing to lose a class action lawsuit because it won't be for the full amount of money.
Yeah.
And it's better for them to do something slightly illegal than for them to let this play out.
Well, what I'm trying to figure out how does one deal with this? And it's like, well, one argument's going to be, well, this isn't the free market. We need a really free market. Like the problem is that we need freer markets, less regulation, less everything.
Dude, you know what one of my buddies is doing? He's got multiple millions of dollars from selling a business, and he is just out of stocks now. He said, this is a game that I didn't realize was so rigged against me. I don't want to play with these. I'm going to do cryptocurrency, which I think is less regulated right now, and less, I guess, cheating happens. And I'm going to do private stuff. I'm going to go to, you own a coffee shop, I want to own 10%. You own real estate, I want to own a little bit.
I'm not going to play on the strip. I'm not going to play.
He basically said, he's like, this is a casino, I'm out of it. And he's legitimately pulling out 7 figures of ETFs and stocks and all that. Just going, I'm going to take my ball and go home because I don't like this game anymore.
Yeah. Well, I've heard, this is a problem. These aren't free markets. We need free markets. I guess I'm leaning towards, and I'm open to change on this, the idea that when you have such colossal power, Scientology, billion-dollar hedge funds, and people are people, they will take exactly the amount of money that they would have lost from playing by the rules and pay to escape the rules. And the only thing that can possibly prevent that is another powerful entity. So we need I don't know if it's bigger or more powerful government answerable to people.
You want to talk about government? I'm so glad you brought up government. So here's another text. I'm just outsourcing from smarter friends than me. Here's another text I got from a friend because I said, why is this happening? Right? So one, GameStop short selling firm Citadel paid Biden's Treasury Secretary millions of dollars over the course of her career to do various things. There's a guy named Rubin, During the Clinton administration,
He's been around forever.
Rubin oversaw the loosening of financial industry underwriting guidelines, which had been in place since the 1930s. Post-government, he went to Citigroup, and then he went to, he got $126 million in cash and stock during his time at Citigroup. So yeah, he wrote the laws for a few years, then he switched over to the finance industry.
There's this revolving door of generals. And
there's a sense that...
So dude, the same thing happens, by the way. I worked at a contractor, and it's you need to win budget spending allocation from various firms, right? And then when these generals retire, where do they go work? They become the most senior person at the consulting firm that they've been giving business to, which is like, if this isn't a quid pro quo, and if there's not an understanding here, this is ridiculous.
So picture this. You're Robert. I'm not saying, again, this is just a hypothetical. I'm not saying this happened. You're Robert Rubin. You're in charge of writing the laws for what financial companies can and can't do. You make $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, $80,000 a year. I don't know what you make. You can do that and not help the financial industry at all while you're doing your job. And at the end of it, go live off your 401k.
Yeah.
Or you can cut a couple of favors here and there. Oh, this is pretty harmless. What's the difference if they get to have a little bit more leverage? Or what's the difference if they get to have certain derivatives?
And I'm sure
that get a $126 million job afterwards from the people you grew close to while you were making the laws for them.
And I think this is important because we talk a lot about self-deception in the prior podcast. These are not conspiratorial acts, I would bet, in most cases. This is people making the same types of decisions we all make for our friends, family, and close colleagues, which is, oh no, don't worry. Like, I'll give you the friends and family rate, just changing the rules.
So we do this in investment banking. Let's get a client. Okay, well, we want to pitch P&G. What should we do? Let's take them to get courtside seats at a New York Knicks game. Well, they're just doing this at 100 times that level. You know what I mean? But every sales guy does that. You take the guy golfing. You go get him some drinks so that he likes you more. We have this weird, and I don't think wrong at the low level, idea that it's okay to butter someone up with gifts and money and drinks.
Well, I guess I would question that, because if it's not wrong at the low level, what makes it wrong at a higher level? Now, obviously, there's more. The scale of people impacted is the same, but like
the low level isn't necessarily making the rules. They don't get to write the laws. I think that might be.
So you're saying with regards to government?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Private businesses, say that the government didn't get involved.
If Bezos wants to take Mark Zuckerberg out for $100 million weekend vacation, I don't mind that.
Well, this is exactly what happened with Robinhood and Citadel, which is, we're close, we're buddies. Private industries affect regular citizens just like governments do.
Oh, yeah.
And so when there's corruption...
I think Robinhood broke the law. So I could be wrong, but I don't think you're...
allowed to do that.
Allowed to just block people from buying shares.
So then the question is, and again, I get that that's a legal thing, but is there a really strong moral distinction between two massive companies like Procter and Gamble and some investment bank?
Everyone would do this. No, I don't think that the people that run Robinhood are less ethical than anyone.
Exactly. So we have legal protections against it in the financial industry, which they may or may not have broken. And maybe they skirted it, maybe they went around it. I guess what I'm saying is that this is very human behavior that we all do at our low level. And the people who are negatively impacted by our giving our nephew the job that he doesn't really freaking deserve is just some kid out of college who's worked harder and is better than your nephew at that job. Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.